Today, the 42 DeWalt Cup Series drivers are in Vancouver, Washington for some short track racing. This half-mile speedway will be a tricky one for these drivers, with each end of the track different from each other. Not only is the race of the chase on the mind of these drivers, but the first round of the mid-season tournament will also be weighing on the drivers throughout this 80-lap race. We'll see who wins and who advances right here on JRTV. Welcome everyone to the 16th race of the season, the midway point of the DeWalt Cup Series 2025 season. I'm Joe Rakowski, joined alongside Trey Bardo, and special guest for this race, Jake Galway, owner of Galway Automotive. Jake, great to have you in the booth for this race, and what a race to be your first race up here in the DeWalt Cup Series booth. Not only, short track, fast-paced, 80-lap race, 16-second lap times, the race to the chase is on, but also first round of the in-season tournament. There's going to be a lot of action out there on the track for you to call, I think, today, Jake.
Yes, it's great to be in the booth. It's lovely to be invited up here to go and witness the race from this sort of viewpoint, rather than, being down pit lane and around all the teams and checking how my guys are getting on. But yeah, no, as you say, it's going to be great. 80 laps of pure entertainment once again, and that added little bit of drama as well. The in-season tournament should make it a really exciting race to watch.
Trey, you're here as always, and what we've seen as of late, always, is Otter Island Motorsports. They've won the last 3 races. Nathan Stapleton's won 2 of the last 3. Laura Chung won the World 600, and even dating back before that, they've won 4 of the last 5. The other 2 that they didn't win were won by Matt Tuck in Vision Motorsports. That would be the All-Star race and then Vermont. So Trey, at the moment, we have basically 3 drivers that have been duking it out the last 6 races, including the All-Star race. Is that trend going to continue today, or will we have some upsets? It's a kind of a mixed-up starting grid at the front.
I mean, Joe, during, I think it was, the draft or whatever we did, we even said that these guys were going to be a strong team, and each and every race, they just prove our point even further. And sooner or later, you got to think that maybe the momentum would stop. But Joe, I don't think that's possible for this Otter Island team. And I mean, it's crazy to see what they put together so far.
I think the momentum is only gaining. I don't think it's going away, Trey. I think it's only increasing. Their drivers are 1-2 in points, and they're separated by 1 single point after the race at Pocono. So Laura Chung, Nathan Stapleton, they have speed. Matt Tuck had that slow start to the season. He started to come alive. We'll see if they can continue, make it 7 straight races that one of those 3 have won in the DeWalt Cup Series. But I mentioned a mixed-up starting grid, and it starts with the pole sitter, Jude Martinelli, that number 94 car. He's been fast this season. He's currently in contention for a chase spot inside the top 10, and this pole is big for him because you get some extra bonus points for getting the pole position. So Jude Martinelli, good starting spot. It'll help him. You obviously have Stapleton, Laura Chung starting 2nd and 4th. That's no surprise there. Brian Rodriguez in 6th, no surprise. Even Jack Haas inside the top 10, no surprise. If you look down in 3rd, Cam Wright Jr., car number 33, starts in 3rd place. That's a Fitzwater Australia racing car, a team that has not been all that great this season, a team that's looking for some sort of small success. Starting 3rd today, great track position at a track where maybe track position could help out. Maybe Cam Wright Jr. can upset some drivers, including Jerry Chen, who starts back in 12th place because he's battling with Jerry Chen for the first round of the in-season tournament. Cam Wright Jr. is seated in 29th. One upset that would be if he could beat Jerry Chen today and advance through. You also have Johnny Cox starting inside the top 10 for Crispy Fry Racing Ventures. Unfortunately missed the in-season tournament, but starting inside the top 10 on the inside has a good shot, a good run. And even Alex Savatale starting in 11th place for Atlanta Motorsports, a driver and a team. Not that much success this season outside of Anthony Hernandez's Road America victory. So there are some drivers, mixed up starting grid. We'll see how it all plays out today for 80 laps around Vancouver. I want to quickly, though, move into some matchups that we might have to look out for and how that could play out. So I think a big matchup to watch out for is actually Roberto Crown Jr. versus Levi Shones. These two are more equal than what the points positions and what I think seeding might say. Crown Jr. seeded 11th, Levi Shones seeded 22nd, but they don't start all too terribly far apart. Roberto Crown Jr. starts in 18th. Levi Shones starts in 28th. So we'll see if they can work their way through each other and battle throughout the race. I also want to, give a call out to Zachary DeLello and Matt Tuck. This is a battle that whoever wins it will move on to face Laura Chung in the second round, the round of 16. And why is that so important? Well, I had mentioned at the start, Matt Tuck has been the only person as of late to contend with Otter Island Motorsports. So if Matt Tuck were to beat Zachary DeLello here today, Tuck starts 20th. DeLello starts 17th. If Matt Tuck wins that matchup, round 2, the matchup is Laura Chung versus Matt Tuck. And Trey, that means that one of Laura Chung or Matt Tuck is not making it out of round 2 then.
Yeah, that's gonna be a heavy blow for those drivers in the second round. But I think everyone else that would still be in the bracket tournament would be kind of celebrating a little bit there, Joe. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, that would be chaotic. And Jake, one final matchup I want to bring up, and this could be a good one all throughout the race. They start on the same road today. It's Chris Jericho versus Lathan Strickland. Jericho comes in the 21st seed, Lathan Strickland the 12th seed, and while that may make it seem lopsided, it's anything but. Jericho's had some terrible luck this season. He's had fast cars. He has the second most laps led this season, but they start in the same row, 13th and 14th. They come in, battling each other to try and advance to round 2. Jake, this could be one that goes all the way down to the checker flag between those two.
Yeah, I think it's an extraordinary battle. As you've already said, Jericho's had some horrible luck really this year. But the pace of that team is very evident, I think, as you backed it up with the stats. And even at Pocono, I think it was last week, he was, I tell you what, a couple more laps, that car was flying at the end of that race. And he could have easily grabbed the victory. So it'll be interesting to see those drivers battle it out and see who comes out on top.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about Pocono. Just 2 or 3 more laps, Jericho could have gone to victory lane, but he just ran out of time on the better tires. Let's move on now to our picks to win. There's a whole bunch going on, chase spots and trying to get into the next round of the midseason tournament, but there's also still a race victory on the line. So we'll let the guests go first as we bring up the season averages between myself and Trey. I closed in a little bit more now to within 2 positions after I'd fallen back after Charlotte, gained a little bit back here after Pocono. So Jake will get to go first, and then we'll go to Trey. So, Jake, you first. Who are you picking to win today in the Tim Hortons 400 at Vancouver?
Well, I'm going to keep it very simple, Joe. Otter Island have been the team to beat this season. They've set an incredible standard. And Laura Chung, I think, is going to continue that incredible momentum they've got going. I just can't see past them at the moment. And it's going to be another victory for the top team in the DeWalt Cup Series as of right now.
All right, Trey. So Jake thinks Otter Island is getting their 6th victory of the season. Who do you have in mind to win today in Vancouver?
I'm going to go with the guy that's starting inside the top 10, but on the outside line. He's shown speed from time to time, and I think he can still show some more speed here today, and I think he is going to be the highest finishing driver out of all of our picks. I'm going to go with the guy in the 23, Jack Haas. I know there's times where we go back and forth with each other, but we're going to put those aside, and he's going to prove me right.
So not only you're picking Jack Haas, someone you kind of mess around with a little bit, you're picking Jake's driver, who is competing against one of your drivers in the midseason tournament.
You got I didn't look at the tournament. I'll be honest, Joe. That looked really bad now. We've got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with them. I didn't look at the tournament. That's on me. My bad.
All right, well, I'm going to go just around your guys, and I'm going to take Max Davis right to the inside of Jack Haas. Davis has not yet won this season. The answer is one of the top drivers in the point standings, nearly a lock at this point, I would say, for a chase spot. I think Davis has the speed for Vision Motorsports, and he's going to get to victory lane for the first time this season and put all 3 Vision drivers in victory lane. They would be the first team to accomplish that if Davis gets the victory lane today. We'll look at the DeWalt track facts. As mentioned, just about half a mile in length for the track. This is an 80-lap race. The field window about 43 to 50 laps, so it's a wide range, which means that if a caution comes down the middle of it, could shake the race up. But Jude Martinelli looking to make it into the chase. He has a few races to go before we get to that point, but could set himself on the right foot today from pole position to his outside. Winner of 2 of the last 3 races, Nathan Stapleton. And Cameron Jr., the underdog, starts in 3rd for Fitzwater Australia Racing as we're going in Vancouver, Washington. What a start for Martinelli from pole. He gets away and leads the first lap. That's another bonus point. So he gets the points for pole. He gets the point for a lap led here today. Cam Wright Jr., the one in 2nd. Bryce Egan up to 3rd. Laura Chung down in line in 4th, right where she started. And Max Davis now 5th as the front few climb the banking. Here comes Egan diving to the bottom on corner exit. He has great forward momentum going into turns 1 and 2. He has the inside now of Martinelli. And it's a lead change. Bryce Egan to the lead. Over now Laura Chung up to 2nd. And Martinelli now slips back to 3rd and still on the outside. Caution's out early on. And a few cars involved, including one of the drivers in the tournament. That's Jacob Miller fighting with Eli Bright, and I think that 95 car is done.
Well, that was there was a lot of stuff going on there at the beginning of that thing, and I didn't even see where that wreck happened because I was trying to figure out the battle for the lead.
Yeah, well, those were guys that were further back, and Jake, what heartbreak. You know, Jacob Miller makes it into the mid-season tournament, locking in after Charlotte because he was inside the top 20 in points. He's fighting with Eli Bright, who I would say was a car and a driver pretty similar on pace to him, so he had a shot to make it in, and now he's done early on.
Yes, it's a pretty brutal way to go out, you know. Only a couple laps into the race, you've just got into the in-season tournament, and just as it sort of started, it's already over for him, and commiserations to him and his team.
And Ace Motorsports' Jordan Stout, who was also in the tournament, just had, it looks like, a mechanical issue. There was no damage there, so that means Philip Torres is going to advance through. And Matthew Burnett is on the pit road. I don't know if that's with damage in the number 24. That's another driver in the tournament, and I don't know what that could have been there.
It was a safety check, making sure, you know, everything's all right.
All right, well, maybe his belts were undone. I don't know. But
yeah, it could have been.
I mean, he's fighting with
I don't
Riley
see any
Spurley,
damage
too.
on the car.
Yeah, I don't know. That was odd, but a whole lot going on early on, especially for the tournament. Caution flag is out. We'll go take a look at what happened. The big one involved Jacob Miller inside the top 20 in points and a driver fighting with Eli Bright for the in-season tournament. Now done early on here in Vancouver.
So exiting off of turn 4 here, see Jacob Miller in the 95, the 51 of Noah Brady, 3 wide as well, the 48 on the inside there. They kind of get bunched together, but the 51 and the 95 get locked up, and the 95 just turns him straight down into the wall. Big damage on his car. The 48 spinning behind him, and obviously Brady involved as well. More stuff followed after that. Burnett gets cleared out by Tegan Fox going into turn 1, I guess trying to take some evasive action. And then even then, exiting turn 2, another separate incident from the wreck already. Stout and Shones get caught up together there. The 66 sort of runs the 96 up into the wall, and because of that damage, it looks like Stout blows an engine going into the next corner, maybe as a result of that incident with Shones. So a lot of stuff happening here early on in the race, and major implications for the in-season tournament. A lot of drivers with issues early on. So it's going to be a lot of happy drivers from this, I guess, because they're going to have a pretty, well, if they can stay out of trouble, a seemingly easy ride through to the next round.
Yeah, I mean, as Jake said, you just can't do 3 wide, and if there's a car to your inside, you know, gotta kind of listen to your spotter there. And right here, I just blatantly taking him out, in my opinion. Just gonna throw that out there. And right here, just blatantly walling the 96. But that was a lot of stuff to happen a few amount of corners, and if that's gonna be the bar for our race, it's gonna be a wild one.
I want to bring it up to the viewers. Being in this booth with 2 drivers that just had their drivers, you know, walled in after the caution flag was already out. You know, Levi Shones with Jordan Stout, Matthew Burnett with Tegan Fox. They were not too happy when they first saw the replay before we were going over everything. They're, you know, a little concerned about what was happening out there and why, you know, drivers are doing that to their cars that they own. But in the end, those guys are good to go. Matthew Burnett came down pit road, looked at the damage. I think they just pulled some fenders out. That's why it was such a quick stop. But at the front, these drivers so far not having to worry about anything, pulling fenders out, damage, anything like that. Bryce Egan leads early on the Tim Hortons 400 here at Vancouver. Coming back green on lap number 9 here at Vancouver for the Tim Hortons 400. We know 2 cars that are done in the garage, and that means 2 matchups that drivers have moved on and they can rest easy for the rest of this race. Jacob Miller's out, and then obviously we have the 66 out because of either damage or if it's just a coincidental engine malfunction with a header issue. Noah Brady's falling a lap down the 51. Matthew Burnett, remember, came down pit road. He's at the back in 39th. With Ryan Wilson with some damage just in front of him. So with Miller and Stout out, that leaves us Philip Torres advancing through and Eli Bright advancing through. They were the drivers competing with those guys, and they are now into the next round. So it's Egan, Chung, Martinelli, Davis, and Cam Wright Jr. still inside the top 5. Then Stapleton, Sam Vitale, and Cox still have a good day. Jericho up inside the top 10 with Zachary DeLello. Green flag back in the air. Nice jump for the front few. Lord Chung stays with Bryce Egan through turns 1 and 2. Looking low off of the corner. Egan, though, gets the run off the corner, stays in front. But guys, Lord Chung is right there through turns 3 and 4. Looking to the inside. Here comes the driver of the 79, looking to try and take the points lead back after her kind of off day, an uncharacteristically off day at Pocono, where she finished around 20th place. Not so great for her, but here today she's back into leading form as she now leads and looking to extend the lap sled lead that she has over the rest of the competition.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, this is a weird short. I feel like this is longer than a short track, but they're very fast here, and I don't know how to really comprehend it. Staple, there's a car, and my car's back on pit road. That's not what I like to see. As Burnett's gonna have to figure out something else there, but no, Stapleton just almost absolutely dumped the 33.
And Jericho almost did the same in the 54. He was kind of washing up there and got towards Cam Wright Jr. Oh, Max Davis!
Oh no!
The race leader has an issue!
Gotta be careful. We're good.
Oh,
no, we're not. Oh, we are.
I think so. Wow.
The
That's
race.
incredible. Can't believe they missed him. Oh, they all made it past somehow, but surely the caution's going to come out here. Surely. Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't just stop on the track.
Oh.
He's got to let it roll down the banking.
We're
Does
good.
anyone hit him? Yes.
Wow. Well, the caution came. No one hit him. But that caution was maybe a little bit too late. They should have called it before the guys were getting there.
NASCAR, what are we doing, man?
Well, there's a lot going on. Oh, my gosh.
There's a lot going on.
Jericho is getting way out of the way. Remember the last time he was in this scenario?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Whoa.
We're going to figure this out. We're fine.
Come on, Noah Brady.
Where's the rest of the field?
Hey, nice.
I think they took the caution is the issue. So they were slowed down.
Right.
Keegan, hit your brake. There you go.
Well, they're all pitting.
Yeah.
They can't make it from here.
Looks like the 07 might have damage on the rear end there.
Could have been a stack up.
Potentially, yeah.
But this is big, guys. Max Davis entered as the 5th seed in the tournament. Kind of a favorite to make it kind of deep. Mathis Wells was his competitor, the 28th seed. And if they can't remedy that issue, he's already fallen a lap down. Mathis Wells could be cakewalking through to round 2 in a major upset.
Yeah, 100%. As everyone else is going to come down and get their tires changed. It looks like add some fuel to the car, and probably for a majority of these guys change, the fire suit and get back out there. There was a lot that went on. Jake, what did you witness there in those 30 seconds of maniac humanity, whatever you want to call it?
Crazy. I mean, we had from the leader going out, but just incredible. No one hit him really. It could have been disastrous and to get a lot of cars there. But Jericho looks like Chris Jericho's won the race off pit road. A great pit stop from that team and their guys. And I think one of my drivers, either Haas or Belen, I can't remember which one it was now. Looking back at it quickly, he might have got a good stop as well, which is always a positive.
There was a lot of strategy there, guys. Some 2-tire stops. This is really mixing up the running order now. Some took 2, some took 4. And Chris Jericho took 2. He'll be the leader along with Sam Vitale and Jack Haas. These guys like Lord Chung, Stapleton, they took 4. So it's going to be a mixed bag now. And we'll see how it all goes as caution flag is out for the second time. Max Davis from the lead with a mechanical issue, stops in the middle of the track, and luckily gets out of there before anyone of the race leaders comes around to hit him.
Heading into turns 3 and 4 there, you see Max Davis, the race leader. Halfway through the turn, his brakes actually jam on as he's getting into turn 3. It's an issue for their guys. They get stuck. He remains on the high side, thankfully, and quite sensibly. But you look at this here. Oh, wide, 2 rows. Ever so close, wasn't it, Trey?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very weird and I want to say rare issue for the brakes to be jammed on, but it happened to Max Davis and definitely not what he wanted to see. Luckily, we have the power of teleportation, and Max Davis was able to get out of the way right before Bryce Egan was going to meet his door side, door, and he got out of the way. So, scary moment there. Very unfortunate for the 16 of Max Davis, but I believe he is back out on track, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
yeah, he'll be at the back, and he'll have to get lucky with some cautions to try and catch up. These guys got lucky, not ramming into other drivers. There was some slight contact, but I mean, compared to what we saw in Charlotte, that was minor. So, and it's a short track. If you get a little hood buckle here or there, it shouldn't be too bad. But some pit strategy was played on pit road. There's where the got the damage. It was with that 57 spinning Tyler Belladonna around. So that's I don't know, maybe some tempers there. What might have happened to transpire with that, I don't know, but could be something to watch out for the rest of the race. Chris Keselowski and Tyler Belladonna might not be the happiest with each other, but the pit strategy was played. Laura Chung came in as the leader. She takes 4. Jericho and some others take 2. 54 is going to be leading here at Vancouver for our second restart of the day. Back here at the Vancouver International Speedway, about to get the 1-to-go signal to come back to the green flag. And it's going to be Chris Jericho on 2 tires with the lead. Sam Vitale in the same strategy along with Jack Haas. Those front 3 took 2, trying to get the track position. That's big for them, especially for Jericho, Jack Haas, trying to get out front, get the lead. They're in that in-season tournament. They have Laura Chung. Remember, she's already into the next round because she got the bye. She's in 4th on 4 tires. Same with her teammate Nathan Stapleton on 4 tires in 5th. Brian Rodriguez is 6th. Jude Martinelli 7th. William Seaman played some strategy to get up to 8th place, trying to beat out his rival, which is Jack Haas. So they're on the same strategy with 2 tires. Jerry Chen and Keegan Thompson round out the top 10. So from that caution, we have Chris Keselowski out after running into Tyler Belladonna. Max Davis is 3 laps down. Needs a lot to go wrong with Mathis Wells for him to have a shot. Ryan Wilson is 2 down. Matthew Burnett, Noah Brady also 1 lap down. They waved around to get off of 2 laps down. 35 cars on the lead lap as we're back green. Jericho on the 2 tires gets away nicely. Sam Vitale in 2nd, holding up Jack Haas in the number 23. Laura Chung and Nathan Stapleton all over the back bumper of that number 23 as they race off into turns 3 and 4. Sam Vitale up the track. Jack Haas to the inside. Laura Chung looking out 3 wide into turns 1 and 2, Trey. But the 09 backs out. Laura Chung now is going to take 2nd for herself.
If I'm not mistaken, is that something I see on that left side of that car there under caution, or my glasses need clean?
It might be a little mark. I think maybe like a little scratch or so. It's not going to hurt that 79.
No,
Yeah, it is
just,
something to keep track of. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, writing down data is what it is.
Exactly. Jericho is now under fire from Otter Island Motorsports. Here comes Chung on the 4 tires, dives to the inside. Laura Chung takes the lead away here at Vancouver with Nathan Stapleton falling through 3 wide further back as the double zero rubs into Martinelli. Thompson to the inside of all that. Wow.
Did an incredible job of not wrecking that. For sure, as Seaman came up on Martinelli there, I really thought there was going to be a collision, and but they did good. They kept it clean, and good battle for positions still continuing.
Mathis Wells, he's fighting with Max Davis.
Gotta be careful.
This is a short track, and at short tracks, you can't pass the inside before the start-finish line on a restart. Easy to do that at a short track when you're in the middle of a corner and you can see more cars are coming off pit road. So I have to wonder, a lot of cars might be getting busted. You can see Ryan Wilson is now multiple laps down. Burnett is back multiple laps down. Caution's back out.
Oh, big wreck. Oh, big wreck.
Max Davis, Tim Gary. So Max Davis' stage just got a lot worse.
Incredible. But back to worse for Davis from leading the race early on.
Doing? Oh, they're coming down
He's
quick.
now out.
Well,
Split strategy again, Joe.
yeah, so this is interesting. They're not quite at the fuel window here, but they are going to be about 4 or 5 laps short. So, I mean, these guys are willing to risk it. It looks like, well, others are saying, we're just going to wait for another caution with how this race is gone.
Yeah, right? Jake, what would you do? If you were a driver in this situation, would you be staying out saying, you know what, with these pace laps, we could probably save enough fuel to, kind of help ourselves near the end of this thing? Or would you be playing a little bit more aggressive like, we see Laura Chung, Jack Haas, Jude Martinelli doing right now?
Well, I think there's pros and cons of either, but, I mean, you look at the opening laps we've had so far and the amount of cautions and incidents that we have seen, there probably is a chance to, save some fuel under the pace laps. Especially for these guys that are, a little bit further back in the point standings, maybe want to take a bit of a risk, try and get that first win of the season and, need a good boost. I would definitely do it if I was them.
Well, Jericho took 2 again. So he's on this 2-tire strategy. He's not taking left sides. Tire wear's not all that bad here, especially on the lefts. In a full run, the whole tires will only fall off about half a second. But
we haven't gotten a full run. I don't even think we've gotten a quarter run, Joe.
No,
Joe?
I don't.
What is your name?
Levi Shones, I think, has fallen a lap down. He's into pit road, and not that many stayed out. There's a lot of lap cars that stayed out there trying to get a wave around, but Stapleton and Jerry Chen kept them from that. So then you have, Drew Webb, you have Mathis Wells. I think Diacomo's a lap down as well. Nope, Diacomo's out there. So is Riley Spurley too, and Cam Wright Jr. So the top 5 have stayed out. Looks like Wright has some damage though on that 33 from this accident. So caution flag is out for the third time. We're not even midway through. Those tire marks don't look all that great. So let's go check out what happened. Max Davis, the big one involved. He was inside the top 5 in points. He was nearly a guarantee with how the seeding was going to make it into the next round. But that 16 has had issues all day long, and this just compounds it.
Now, accident out of turn 2 here. These drivers could have a very interesting post-race conversation. Tim Gary and Eli Bright here coming off of the turn, and the 88 hooks the 69 down almost into pit lane and causes a massive accident. 69 barely misses Egan in the 18. And he goes up on the track straight into Davis, who has nowhere to go, hits him head on. And then the 07 again doesn't have nowhere to go. The 59 gets involved. Cam Wright Jr. with a little bit of damage as well, ruins what was a very good day for him, for Zachary Fitzwater's team. But more cars taken out here in this race, and there's still a long way to go. There's going to be a lot of very angry drivers, though, and a lot of very interesting conversations to be had.
Well, I don't think it's any more straightforward than this. Eli just straight out dumped Tim Gary, and oh my goodness, head-on collisions is not what you want to see. As Joe mentioned, Max Davis days just get worse and worse. And funny thing, we've mentioned the PlayStation group before. A couple of these drivers play together. Well, Eli Bright and the owner of Tim Gary's car, Fred Sierra, they're probably going to have to talk it out here a little bit, because they're part of that group, Joe. That's not going to be fun.
And the worst part about all that was Tim Gary was beating his competitor, Bryce Egan, for the in-season tournament. He almost took out Egan with him. But unfortunately for Gary, he's going to be out of the race. Egan's still in it, and I think that's going to solidify that as Egan advancing through. Well, some more pit strategy. Some drivers came in, they're trying to make it to the end, and of the drivers that came in, some took 2, a lot took 4, but about 5 cars stayed out, including this man, Nathan Stimpson, looking for his 2nd straight victory and his 3rd in the last 4 races. We'll see if he can accomplish that with this strategy call on the restart. Back here at Vancouver on JRTV, we'll see if we can get a little bit of a green flag feel in, as we're about 30 laps in. We've had 3 cautions so far. See if we can go these final 50 laps a little bit less chaotic, because there have been some interesting things that have occurred, including some drivers that are out. Max Davis is out, so that officially ends his chance at advancing through and gets upset by the 28th seed, Mathis Wells. So the 5th seed beat in the first round by the 28th seed. Mathis Wells will advance. Tim Gary also out from his crash. That puts Bryce Egan through the 6th seed. So we have a lot of cars laps down, probably from some restart shenanigans, restart violations. That leaves us 31 cars on the lead lap. So the strategy that has played out, the top 5 have stayed out. 6th place Jericho's on 2 tires. He's the first driver that pitted under this last caution. Green flag back in the air for Stapleton, Chen, Giacomo, Spurley Tube, and Cam Wright Jr. So those are the top 5 that have stayed out. We'll see how Jericho, Martinelli, and some of the others can do. Laura Chung, remember, was about leading onto pit road. She's all the way back to 11th as Jerry Chen wants the lead on Stapleton as they come off the corner. Remember, he's fighting with Cam Wright Jr. still in this race and still running well because he also stayed out. So there's a lot going in terms of the mid-season tournament there. But Jerry Chen off turn 2 with the lead down to the inside into turns 3 and 4. Chen takes it away.
All right. Well, the question is now is can we get a green flag run in at all, or are we going to go right back to calamity on this racetrack? They're trying to go 3 wide.
Laura Chung!
Not the best. Oh, no.
Laura Chung is into pit road.
Wow.
And that has to be a penalty.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if that's another penalty from that restart. Big for her, big for the points battle as well. Stapleton could capitalise here.
Yeah, could be a really big day. They came in 1 point apart for the points lead, and remember, at the end of the regular season, the points leader gets a big bonus boost in terms of chase points. So could be bad for Laura Chung in terms of that. And Matthew Burnett, Trey, I don't know what's going on with the 24 today. I think every time we've seen him,
he's just trying to cut the track and run the shorter oval. That's what it is.
Every time we've seen him, he's been on pit road. I feel like, but
I don't have any words.
This race is blown wide open. Tegan Fox onto pit road. She had some damage, so they might be repairing that. But Jerry Chen leads, but Bruno Giacomo for Red Lightning Racing is up in 2nd. Played that strategy, stayed out, and he's going after the lead. Here he comes. This is a driver and a team that have just not been good at all this season. And it's only gotten worse, I feel like, as the season has gone on. Well, now Bruno Giacomo leads this race. He's going to come around the lead lap here. That is massive for Ben Nowak and Giacomo. Well, maybe not. Riley Spurgeon tried to steal it there.
Got it. He's good.
Look at this. The top 4 are under a blanket now.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, you're 100% right. The strategy is playing huge for this 0-5 car, and with all the cautions, I mean, I feel like it's only playing in their hands a little bit more. We've seen in the past they don't have the speed, but if they keep just running pace laps here and they can keep their position and have a good short run car for restart purposes, they can stay up within the top 10. And for them, if they can finish there, that would be a huge accomplishment for them.
This 94 is someone to watch out for. Jude Martinelli, he's the highest of the drivers that came into pit road the last caution flag, so he has a little bit more fuel than the guys he's racing around besides Chris Jericho. Jericho also came in, but Martinelli's the highest of them as Stapleton way up the track, nearly into the wall. Jerry Chen takes the lead back, and Martinelli still moving forward with Riley Spurgeon, who nearly won at Pocono last time out, looking for EKH Enterprises' first victory, and then Jericho also right there. These top 5 are under a blanket with Brian Rodriguez not too far back.
This looks like the 59 decided to come down pit road, which is good. Jake, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but wanted to make sure we saw that, because if we came to a lap traffic here, probably wouldn't be a good idea.
It's all good. It's all good. I say a great battle between these guys up at the front. Obviously, Martinelli and great fight back. Obviously, started on pole. We know that car's got the speed and the pace to kind of compete for a victory here today. But I know the guys over at EKH Enterprises desperate for that first DeWalt Cup Series win. Can the 28 deliver that today?
And there's a lot of drivers up here going for that first win. Fos Autosport hasn't won. Jude Martinelli hasn't won. Rasberg to BKH Enterprises haven't won. Chris Jericho hasn't won. I mean, Tucson Racing only has 1 victory this season. Noah Brady holds up Jude Martinelli. Sprintup's going to get back by the 94, and now Martinelli might get held up because the 51's getting used as a pick, and Jude has nowhere to go at the moment, Trey. He's just going backwards. Now he's going to split to the middle, and Brady gets out of the way as best as he can.
Careful.
Wow.
Why did they enter it so low off the corner when they're top of 3 wide, Joe?
Yeah, no clue. But look at who's moving up. Matt Tuck. We've not really talked about this 11 car today. In fact, for a few laps there early on, DeLello had pulled away from him, and Matt Tuck was stuck back there mid-pack. Well, now the 11 car is up inside the top 10. DeLello's pretty far back, see 3 wide right here. Bryce Egan getting aggressive with Keegan Thompson. That's for 9th place. But DeLello, as you can see, you don't see him. There he is, finally back here with William Seaman back around 15th place. It's been a struggling day since those restarts as Jericho's back to the lead. And that number 54 takes it away from Martinelli with Nathan Stapleton right there as well. Spurgeon really dropping back. He was just leading this race about 2 laps ago, Jake. And he's dropping back on the outside. Matt Tuck to his inside, looking to take a 6th place spot away.
Yeah, I mean, once you get kind of stuck on that outside, it is obviously a slightly slower groove than the inside. I mean, you can fight back a little bit coming off turn 4, but it is, once you get stuck up there, it is kind of puts you at a slight disadvantage, I guess. And Spurtube's fallen back a little bit, but he could rebound. You know, we've seen it before, but he's got to get down quickly before he loses that chance of victory.
Yes, he does. Right in front of that battle with Bryce Egan and Ryan Spurgeon is Jerry Chen and Jack Haas going at it. That's for 6th place. Matt Tuck up inside the top 5, that number 11 car. Keegan Fox in a pit glitch. Jericho's just leading. He's back to 5th place. Stapleton back to the lead. Brian Rodriguez, Jericho's teammate, trying to take 2nd from Jude Martinelli with two different shades of green on those spoilers. Martinelli with a kind of a lime neon green, and Brian Rodriguez with a little bit of a mint green, kind of matching nearly the Spotify logo. But they're all trying to run down Nathan Stapleton, who once again was one of those drivers that stayed out under the last caution. So he'll have to pit earlier, and maybe no one else will have to pit, you know, of the drivers that came down pit road. Maybe they won't have to pit, but we know for sure Stapleton will have to pit. The question is, does Rodriguez, Tuck, and the drivers who came down under the last caution, do they have to make a pit stop, or will they also have to, or will they be able to stay out there and last their fuel all the way to the checkered flag?
We'll have to see what all develops as we're coming up to yet another lap car. I believe it is the 07. It is. Look at the damage on it. He has no hood. All right, so this will be interesting to see how we get around to him. The first 2 should be good. That's going to be more when we get back to the pack here. But, Joe, we're finally starting to come up to some traffic, and that could change the whole outcome of this race.
Yes, it could. Short track and lap traffic, that really comes into play. But Matt Tuck and Brian Rodriguez are going at it for the lead. Tuck to the inside of Brian, up the back straightaway. It's surprising to say that, you know, Tucson Racing, they've had such a great season, but they only have that 1 victory in the Daytona 500 with this man, the number 62. Ooh, Belladonna. Oh, he got to Jack Haas. Ooh, what a save.
That could have been bad.
Oh, I just saw Jake jump in the booth beside us. That was a close moment right there.
I jumped and it wasn't even my car.
It was your pick to win, though, Trey.
It was. I need to get back up on the winning train, Joe.
Well, you're going to today. Max Davis is out of the race. That was my pick, so you're good.
Hey, anything? I still don't want my pick to wreck.
I know. I'm just saying. You got me beat for sure here today. And Laura Chung is Jake's pick, and she's a lap down in 30th, so tough time there. Well, here we go. Look at this for the lead. Brian Rodriguez is all over his teammate's back bumper. They're trying to get inside Vision Motorsports' Matt Tuck. Then you have another Otter Island car, Nathan Stimpson, right there. So you have 2 Vision cars up here because Egan's joining the fun, 2 Toussaint cars, and then an Otter Island car. These are the 3 teams that everyone's looking for to win the championship this season. And here they are running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as they catch up to Matthew Burnett, who's been on and off pit road multiple times today and is currently 5 laps down, about to go a 6th lap down, that number 24 car. So his chance of advancing through, trying to beat Riley Spurrier-Tube, basically all but over unless the 28 car falls out of this race.
Yeah, we definitely picked a bad race to practice pit road entry for whatever reason with that 24, but we'll have to discuss that during the week there and just take our losses as we get them. But Jake, so far, we're over halfway through. We're coming up to 20 laps to go. This race has had a little bit of everything. What do you expect to happen? You think this aggression is going to go up, or you think we're at the max, or they're going to, maybe decide to calm it down a little bit?
Well, I mean, you've kind of gone for that middle point of the race now where drivers are calming down, maybe after the first sort of early cautions as Jericho's looking to take the lead on the inside tuck here with Stapleton following him through. It's the 51 in the wall. 51 is in the wall, but the aggression's definitely going to go up, I think. The laps are winding down. Guys have got to make their moves, especially the in-season tournament, sort of progressing. We're going to get down late in this race. There could be some really key battles, and drivers are going to have to make their move if they want to progress.
Well, making the move is Nathan Stimpton, going for his 2nd straight win. He gets by Jericho, but once again, of the guys around him, he has less fuel. He didn't make the pit stop, and here he comes. He has to make that pit stop. He had less fuel, so Stimpton from the lead is now in a very vulnerable position. If a caution comes out, he'll fall probably 2 laps down. So big for Stimpton that this thing goes green and that these front few can't make it, even though they pitted later, Trey. This is a dangerous scenario for Otter Island Motorsports to be in. They have their best 2 drivers of the season now down and out. Laura Chung's a lap down because of her penalty. Nathan Stimpton down pit road, and it's going to fall multiple laps down if this thing stays green, and who knows if these guys have to pit too.
Yeah, they tried the aggressive strategy there, hoping for more cautions, Joe, and we've been pretty clean ever since that last one happened. So definitely not a part of their playbook here, but they're going to have to adjust and try to recover what they can. That's what makes a good race car team great. And as we mentioned, really pre-race was staple tucks there.
Wow.
All right. As we mentioned pre-race, the momentum for this Otter Island Motorsports team just seems to continue to grow, but seems like it took one short track in Vancouver to pretty much disassemble all of that.
Well, it's not over yet. If this thing stays green and these guys can't make it on field, they'll have to pit too. But for sure, the tires don't wear that much. You can see Stapleton, even though he's on the better tires, he's out there going. Bryce Egan is still all over him trying to pass him. What this has done is allowed Jericho and Tuck to pull away. It's now them 2 for the win. What this also does is if some of these guys... Oh, Jericho's going to be in a bad spot with Cam Wright Jr. there to his inside coming off pit road. But if these guys can make it on field, the guys that have, pitted under that last caution, Stapleton's, multiple laps down. He's 2 laps down. Robert Ashford, look at this.
No, I don't like this.
3 wide for Matt Tuck.
I don't like if they're making contact.
Splitting the lap car in the middle. This has brought Bryce Egan back into as Matt Tuck takes the lead, but Robert Ashford, the 30th seed, could upset the 3rd seed, Nathan Stapleton. If he can make it on fuel, Stapleton's 2 laps down, about to go 1 lap down. Robert Ashford's still in the lead lap. So, Robert Ashford could upset Nathan Stapleton, knock him out of the tournament in the first week. That's insane.
I wouldn't have thought that in my wildest dreams, but you mentioned, Joe, there is a good chance of that happening. We'll have to see what happens here with under 10 laps to go, and I don't even want to imagine the different possibilities that could come out with so few laps remaining.
Other cars are pitting with 9 laps to go. No one of the guys that have came in, under that caution have made the move yet. But we know if they're short, they're going to be only about 5 laps short. So we'll have to see how it plays out. Stipton trying to get one of his 2 laps back. More cars are coming in, including Lathan Strickland. That's a driver battle with Chris Jericho, remember. That's a battle that we said to watch out for. Matt Tuck's pulled away to a 2.5 lead. Stipton's going to clear himself off the number 11. Robert Ashford's pitting. So that's big for Stapleton. He really needed that because otherwise he was going to be out of this tournament. I think now he's going to be in a good spot. The question is, What are the leaders doing in terms of fuel? Can they all make it? Will some make it? Will none make it? We'll find out. Tuck has a 2-second lead over his teammate Bryce Egan, but he's going to make a stop for fuel with 7 to go.
And they're all
Oh, no!
Bro, Jericho spawning into Burnett.
Riley Spurley also caught up.
DeLello just avoids it. Oh my god, huge drama, and the caution is out. Unbelievable.
Did Jericho try to pit with a car to his inside?
Yeah, I think he had Joe Hendry to his inside and tried to pit.
The bad luck continues for this 54.
Jack Haas, he stayed out. Is anyone going to be... I mean, this is... I don't know who's going to be the leader now.
Who's going to be the leader? Yeah.
We just watched that happen. Well, at least the 24 can pit for a good reason now. That's something.
And when this caution came out, we're going to have maybe 2 laps to go for a restart. That took it a bad stop, it looks like.
Oh, careful, Strickland. Where did Strickland get that damage from?
I don't know, but I mean, he was going to be in maybe a good spot. Jericho might have, fallen out of the race, or at least been falling a lap down.
Right.
This is going to take a lot to sort out here. We're going to have cars that have to get waved around, and you have Jack Haas. I think he's going to be the leader. With DeLello.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, stop.
Thank you.
Oh,
stopping on pit lane. Oh, don't get any damage.
That's illegal.
You can't go out of pit road. There you go.
Oh,
the stop sign, the red light's still on.
Yeah, I don't.
Hope he doesn't get penalised for that. That'd be a bad way to lose.
NASCAR gets to figure this out while we can go over a replay.
Yeah, I think Jericho's out. Jericho is out.
Oh no.
Lathan Strickland's also out though, and Strickland DNF before him.
Oh no!
A huge break in the in-season tournament.
Okay, so I think NASCAR's just ordered Jack Haas to. I think he has to give more spots back. He has to be back there. We'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. But now it's saying the 62 is the leader. So Brian Rodriguez stayed on the lead lap. So the 62 is going to be leading this race.
There's so much going on right now.
Yes, there is. We'll take a moment to go through it, sort it out. We'll go check out what happened. Caution flag is out. A lot of cars are all over the place now because of this. We'll have a late race restart here at Vancouver.
So kind of a miscommunication here coming off of turn 4. The 65 of Hendry is exiting. Jericho coming down pit lane to make his stop, and they both collide. No one gives, and they both make contact at the same time. The 54's rotten luck continues, and he's straight into the path of Matthew Burnett, who's had a pretty woeful day himself, to be honest. He gets involved. Spurley Tube, another driver who was running really well. A bit of damage for him, but heartbreak for the 54 of Jericho. I mean, his bad luck continues. He was in with an awesome shot to take home this race victory today. And then after that, more shenanigans continue. The 07 of Belladonna kind of gets taken out. Strickland with nowhere to go. He piles right into the back of him. Causes some big damage for the 91. That will end his day as well, which was also a massive break for Chris Jericho. Obviously, both these guys taking on each other in the in-season tournament. The 91 actually ended up coming down pit lane and retiring first. So Jericho gets a huge break in that aspect. Make sure he progresses through to the next round. Strickland goes home empty-handed. But it's going to set up a late race restart here. A quick one. But it could be very entertaining. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Jericho's got a pit, but we have a car coming out at the same time. They meet in the middle. That's just not going to work. Jericho goes for a slide, and Burnett's there, and it's just going to go downhill from here because Spurley Tube gets involved. Luckily, Jerry Chen and DeLello get through, but then the 07 gets turned around off the side of Hernandez, and Strickland ends up finding him there at the terrible timing, ruining Strickland's day and any chance he had at moving on here. And a lot happened during pit cycles, but I still don't even know if we know who the leader is.
Yeah,
it's Strickland spun again!
Yeah, he had some major issues on the front stretch there. I guess the car really was broken, but Brian Rodriguez, somehow, some way, stayed on the lead lap while others didn't. We'll have to, sort all the scoring up, but if my, whole thing is correct, this should be a one-lap shootout for the victory. We'll see how it goes and see, where the lineup is for which should be one final restart here at Vancouver. Back here at Vancouver for a one-lap dash to the checkered flag. Brian Rodriguez came down pit road, stayed on the lead lap. He'll be the leader, and he has 3 cars between himself and second place, Jack Haas. cars that are out from that, Matthew Burnett finally is done for the day. Lathan Strickland's going to beat Chris Jericho by a spot, or Lathan Strickland's going to be behind Jericho by a spot or two. Jericho's going to advance through because of that. We now only have 16 cars on the lead lap. Eli Bright, Ludovic Charette, William Seaman are stuck between race leader Rodriguez and second place Haas. Tuck is third, Thompson fourth, Egan fifth, Gutierrez is sixth for Red Lightning Racing. Hernandez seventh, Willard eighth, DeLello ninth has to get to Matt Tuck to advance, and Laura Chung rounds at the top 10. So here we go. Final restart. White and green fly together, and Rodriguez did what he needed to do. He gets away, doesn't let the lap cars get to his inside. The driver who won the first race of the season, the Daytona 500, hasn't won since. The team hasn't won since. But through turns 3 and 4, Rodriguez will deliver Tucson Racing their second victory of the season as he wins the Tim Hortons 400 here at Vancouver.
Wow. That was a finish.
Yes.
I think is how we want to put that, right?
Certainly was.
Jake, how'd you like your first race in the booth?
Drama. That's the thing that West Robert can use to describe that race. Absolute craziness. But, congrats to the guys over at Tucson Racing. They've been a very good team all year, really. They haven't really had the wins to show for it. Rodriguez, though, gets it done his second of the season. I'm just slightly frustrated. There were so many cars to see him and passing our R23 car. But congrats to him. What a crazy, crazy race.
And you know what? With all the issues that happened today, Rodriguez winning, Lord Chung and Nathan Stapleton, they finished fine. They finished decently, 10th and 11th. But I think that's enough of a gap between Rodriguez and those Otter Island cars that Brian Rodriguez is going to be back in the points lead, if you can believe it. A driver and a team that, as Jake mentioned, they have had the speed, but they haven't had the wins to back it up. Well, here they are, and I think Brian Rodriguez is going to be the new points leader, guys. So, I mean, Trey, how about that, right? I mean, kind of taking it to Otter Island Motorsports after what we've seen the last month or so.
There's so much stuff here, Joe. I'll be surprised if we have it all sorted out by next week's race. I mean, there was so much that happened there. You have Rodriguez coming out of pretty much nowhere to get this win, avoiding all the drama. Second place, Jack Haas, my pick. Pretty happy about that, not going to lie. And then if you just go through the rest of this field, I mean, if you would have told me everything that would have happened and the fact that we only had 16 cars on the lead lap, I think I would have called you a little bit crazy. But that's what we ended up with.
Something that I think we can have done and over with before next week's race is the finishing results. Let's go look at those now and see how the field lined up and who's advancing through with the in-season tournament. So here's how they finished from a chaotic Tim Hortons 400 at Vancouver. 28 lead changes here today is the most of the season. In the end, it was Brian Rodriguez who got some lucky strategy. He was on pit road when the caution came out. He stayed on the lead lap and beat Jack Haas to pit exit. So the 62 wins this one. Haas ends up in second. One of his better finishes of the season, though, and is a great points day for him. Matt Tuck, closer to the top 10 in points now, was a third-place result. He moves on in the in-season tournament. Bryce Egan, his teammate, joins him in fourth. And a top 5 for Keegan Thompson, so that's 2 Tucson cars inside the top 5 here today. Angel Gutierrez for Red Lightning Racing ends up in 6th. What a drive it was for him. Anthony Hernandez in 7th for Atlanta Motorsports. Gabe Willard, 8th. Zachary DeLello, 9th. And Laura Chung finds a way to get back to the top 10. I think she got a little bit lucky there with that last caution flag. Nathan Stapleton ends up in 11th place. Could have had a shot to maybe win this race if that whole thing went green to the checkered flag. Zidell beats Martinelli in the in-season tournament, so Zidell is through in 12th. Philip Torres ends up 13th. Crown Jr. 14th. And Joshua Cox inside the top 15. Jude Martinelli last car in the lead lap in 16th. So as we go down through the rest of the finishing order, talk about who won each matchup. Matt Tuck beats Zachary DeLello. Riley Spurritube beats Matthew Burnett. Keegan Thompson beat Joshua Cox. Chris Jericho beat Lathan Strickland. The big upset of the round, Mathis Wells beating Max Davis. Justin Zidell upsets Jude Martinelli. And Jerry Chen beats Cam Wright Jr. by a few positions. Nathan Stapleton beats Robert Ashford. As mentioned, Eli Bright beat Jacob Miller. Crown Jr. beats Shones. Egan, as mentioned, beat Tim Gary. Jack Haas beats William Seaman. Gabe Willard beats Ludovic Charette. Philip Torres beats Jordan Stout, and Brian Rodriguez with his win takes down Joe Hendry in the first round. So now that the finishing results are out of the way, here's the updated tournament. Here's the updated bracket and where everyone is seated heading into the second round. And Trey, there are some interesting matchups. You have Laura Chung versus Matt Tuck. You have Riley Spiritu versus Keegan Thompson. Chris Jericho versus Mathis Wells. Justin Zaydell versus Jerry Chen. Then Nathan Steelton against Eli Bright. Roberto Crown Jr. against Bryce Egan. Jack Haas against Gabe Willard. And Philip Torres against Brian Rodriguez. So, Trey, those are some matchups. What I want to focus on, we had mentioned at the beginning, Matt Tuck versus Laura Chung. If Matt Tuck beat Zachary DeLello today, he then gets to face Laura Chung in round 2. That's 2 of the top drivers so far this season and as of late. And the way I can best describe it that me and you will understand is think back to Monster Jam World Final 7. Tom Mentz qualified last. Dennis Anderson qualified first. And it was like if Tom Mentz wins round 1, he faces Dennis Anderson in round 2. I think that's what this is. Tom Mentz versus Dennis Anderson in round 2 of the World Finals, pretty much.
I definitely agree. I think we have the 2 big favorites going into this bracket facing each other in the second round. So it's going to be a big clash here, and it's definitely going to be something we're going to be paying attention to next week. And like I mentioned, Joe, everyone else in this bracket is going to be pretty relieved. One of those 2 drivers is out after next race.
Yeah, and I mean, that matchup could come down to who wins the race with how good they've been running as of late. So watch out for that.
They could finish 1-2.
They could be even better. Yeah, it could be a very, very chaotic run to the checker flag if those 2 are near each other up at the front of the field next race out at Chicagoland. Now let's go take a look at the points, and this was a big mess today in terms of the point standings. Brian Rodriguez, with his second victory of the season, moves into the points lead by a slim 3-point margin. Stapleton and Chung are tied for second, 3 points back as mentioned. Fourth place is now Bryce Egan. He's 27 points back, and Jerry Chen drops to fifth. But he's still within 33 points of the points lead. Jack Haas up to 6th with his good day. Keegan Thompson up to 7th. Once again, Keegan Thompson continuing his trend. All of his top 10s are top 5s. That's now 8 and 8. I don't know how he keeps doing it, but he keeps doing it. Max Davis with his terrible day down to 8th in points and kind of a lot closer than he wanted to be now to that cut line. Riley Spiritu now down to 9th, and Gabe Willard still holding station inside the top 10. He's only 1 point behind Riley Spiritu. Drew Martinelli stays in 11th, but he's now 17 points back of Gabe Willard for 10th. Matt Tuck is up to 12th. He's about 35 points back. Lathan Strickland is 13th. Philip Torres 14th. Crown Jr. 15th. They have DeLello, Eli Bright, Justin Zaydell, Chris Jericho, and Levi Shones being the top 20. So the 2 wildcards still belong to Matt Tuck and Eli Bright. Levi Shones, though, closed in towards Eli Bright, and he's now Shones back up inside the top 20 in points. And if Matt Tuck jumps up inside the top 10 after the next few races, he won't be taking up a wildcard spot. Maybe it could be Eli Bright and Levi Shones battling for it. We'll just have to see how the rest of the season plays out. Now the team points, not much change. Otter Island, they didn't have the best of days for themselves. They only had 1 car inside the top 10. It was a 10th place for Laura Chung. But all 3 cars finished inside the top 15. While Vision Motorsports, they had 2 cars finish well, but 1 car finished terribly. Same with Tucson Racing. So, points are still pretty similar going through in terms of the team points. Still those top 3 teams. And you have Galway Automotive and EKH Enterprises in a 10-point battle for 4th. Phos Autosport in a 4-point battle with Southern Cross Racing for 6th. Mean Motorsports finally breaks 1,000 points and is pulled away by 100 points over Ace Motorsports. Atlanta Motorsports holds the final spot inside the top 10 by just a few points over Red Lightning Racing. All the way down Fitzwater Australia still in the battle with OSC Racing for 13th and 14th. So Trey, crazy race here at Vancouver, and it was definitely quite the race to start out the in-season tournament. We'll just have to see how it goes through. But final thoughts: it was a record-setting day with a number of lead changes, but also a pretty destructive day. I think 4 cautions is the most of any race so far this season.
I will be honest, Joe. I did not come into this race expecting to commentate what we just witnessed, but it was definitely a race to remember. And I know that people enjoyed watching it, and we definitely enjoyed commentating it. And I know Jake definitely was put up to the challenge pretty well there, but I think he did a great job.
Jake was so excited that Jack Haas finished second, he dove out of the booth to go down and go down.
He didn't waste no time.
Yeah,
he was like,
he wanted to debrief with him.
Yeah. He goes, "You guys good? Good. I'm gonna go celebrate with my driver now." So really, I don't think we can blame him, Joe.
No. That was a good day for 2 cars inside the top 10 for him. He'll definitely enjoy that. Unfortunately for DeLello, he got knocked out by Matt Tuck, but Jack Haas still in the tournament to try and move forward. He has a good matchup with Gabe Willard next time out. But The next two races should be a little bit more normal, right? We're going away from short track racing for now. We're going intermediate style racing. And next time out, Sunday night race on JRTV, Chicagoland for the second mid-season tournament race, the Gatorade 400. That'll be a fun one. Once again, Sunday night under the lights, 8:30 p.m. right here on JRTV. And then 2 Mondays from now, the third mid-season race, it will be Michigan for that one. So tune in there. Some good races coming up. And obviously then after that, we'll end out with Martinsville and then with Atlanta for the last few races of the mid-season tournament. But what a day here today at Vancouver. It was a chaotic race, a crazy race. We had race leader have brake issues and a whole bunch of stuff going on. And today, though, it was Brian Rodriguez and Tucson Racing that got to victory lane. Congratulations to them on a great victory. For Trey Bardo and Jake Galloway, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long, but tune in next week to JRTV from Chicagoland on Sunday.